At the age of 75, King Charles finally ascended to the throne, carrying not just the crown but also the long-held secrets of the British monarchy. For years, whispers of scandals and hidden truths had surrounded the royal family. Recently, when King Charles blocked Prince Harry's return to royal duties, it reignited speculation about what truly goes on behind palace doors. During a formal speech, Charles stated, "Today, I am proud to create him Prince of Wales to West Camry, the country whose title I've been so greatly privileged to bear." But beyond these words lay a deeper truth waiting to surface, one that could change how people see the monarchy forever. This moment was not just about tradition. It was about legacy, loyalty, and the courage to face the past. What was the major secret Charles finally decided to reveal after decades of silence? Princess Diana's memory still looms large. Her influence continues to shape the royal family and the hearts of millions. Even years after her tragic passing, she remains unforgettable. Diana lost her life in a high-speed car crash in Paris while fleeing relentless photographers. Throughout her life, she endured the harsh glare of the public eye, yet she became far more than a royal figure. When asked if she believed she'd ever become queen, she answered simply, "No, I don't. I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts." And that is exactly what she became. Her compassion, kindness, and ability to connect with people made her a symbol of humanity and love. Her warm smile and devotion to charitable causes created a legacy that endures to this day. As the anniversary of her death approached each year, Kensington Palace transformed into a place of remembrance. Admirers left flowers, candles, and heartfelt notes, while strangers shared memories of how Diana had touched their lives. She was no longer just a princess who died too soon. She became eternal in the hearts of those she inspired. But for Charles, Diana's memory was both a tribute and a torment. While the world celebrated her life, he lived with the emotional weight of her loss and the public's expectations. Society demanded that he acknowledge her importance more openly. Even though Prince William and Prince Harry carried on her charitable mission, many wanted to see Charles himself honor her legacy. Despite finding love and comfort with Camilla Parker Bowles, Diana's influence lingered, creating a division in his life between personal peace and public responsibility. Charles often confided to friends how deeply Diana had impacted him, especially as the mother of his sons. Speaking about her, however, came with great risk. He feared public outrage, accusations of hypocrisy, and endless media scrutiny. Yet over time, he realized that silence only deepened the pain. To truly honor Diana and confront his own past, he had to speak the truth, openly and without reservation. That moment finally arrived. During a heartfelt outdoor memorial dedicated to Princess Diana, the focus was not on royal grandeur but on sincerity and remembrance. The event brought together dignitaries and ordinary citizens who still admired her deeply. For Charles, it was a turning point, an opportunity to address years of silence. In the weeks leading up to the ceremony, he spent long hours in his study, pacing and rehearsing what he might say. He told Camilla, "I must say something real. If I speak like a cold figure, I'll lose them forever." She listened, understanding that this was something he had to face alone. Reflecting on his past, Charles confronted painful truths: the emotional distance in his marriage, the hurt he caused, and how royal duty had overshadowed his humanity. He knew the people deserved honesty, even if it came at a personal cost. When the day came, a large crowd gathered, holding photographs and flowers in Diana's memory. The air was heavy with emotion and anticipation. As Charles stepped onto the stage, the weight of his thoughts pressed down on him. Looking out at the sea of faces, he began, "There is something I have carried for too long. It has lived in shadows, spoken by others, but never by me. Perhaps it's time I speak the truth." The crowd fell silent. Then came his admission. "I never truly loved Diana as a husband should. I married her because it was expected of me. Duty left me little choice. And in doing so, I caused pain to Diana, to our sons, and to myself." He continued, "I was taught to put the crown before everything else. But that belief has a cost. That cost is humanity. That cost was my marriage and Diana's peace of mind. For the first time, King Charles faced his past openly, revealing the truth he had buried for so long. But what truly led to his marriage with Diana? In the early 1980s, Buckingham Palace was under immense public pressure. As the heir to the throne, Charles was expected to marry, and the press eagerly speculated about his future bride. When Diana Spencer appeared, young, beautiful, and graceful, she seemed like the perfect choice. Their engagement was celebrated worldwide as a fairy tale come true. Yet behind the glittering image, the truth was far more complicated. Charles still had deep feelings for Camilla Parker Bowles, and his unresolved past with her cast a long shadow over his relationship with Diana. Within the palace, quiet whispers about his continued affection for Camilla raised doubts about whether his marriage had ever truly been built on love. Although Diana appeared joyful to the world, she had stepped into a life surrounded by hidden emotions and deep tensions. Behind the palace doors, the story that had seemed like a royal fairy tale soon revealed itself to be far more complicated. It was a tale woven with love, duty, and heartbreak, one that captured the world's attention for years. Despite her grace and charm, Diana silently endured the weight of emotional struggle and loneliness that came with royal life. Long before the public became aware of problems in her marriage, Princess Diana began privately documenting her experiences within Buckingham Palace. In 1991, she courageously shared her story with journalist Andrew Morton, providing a series of audio recordings that later became the foundation for Diana, Her True Story, and the Netflix documentary, Diana, in Her Own Words. These tapes were not gossip. They were her voice, finally freed from the limits of royal expectation. In them, she spoke of her early sadness and heartbreak, recalling moments such as discovering a bracelet meant for Camilla Parker Bowles and receiving polite yet unsettling letters from her. Through these confessions, Diana revealed the deep emotional pain she endured while living in what often felt like a marriage of duty rather than love. The Morton tapes exposed the isolation. Diana felt long before her now famous 1995 interview, when she declared, "There were 3 of us in this marriage." By speaking her truth, Diana transformed from a distant royal icon into a woman whose pain, courage, and vulnerability touched millions. Her recordings stripped away the illusion of royal perfection, revealing the human emotions of love, longing, and resilience that lay beneath the crown. Diana's voice cut through the silence of royal tradition, allowing the world to see her as she truly was, a woman facing impossible challenges with remarkable strength. Her story reminds us that even behind palace walls, hearts can break and courage can shine. Yet one question remained: how much could she bear before tragedy struck? By the mid-1990s, the cracks in Charles and Diana's marriage could no longer be hidden. The illusion of their perfect royal union had faded, and the public began to see the pain behind the smiles. Diana, once celebrated as the people's princess, revealed the humanity beneath her title. Then, on August 31st, 1997, tragedy struck. Diana was killed in a car crash in Paris, leaving the world in shock. Kensington Palace became a sea of flowers as mourners gathered to pay tribute to a woman who had captured their hearts. In the days that followed, Charles faced intense public scrutiny as the media dissected every aspect of his relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles. For the first time, the monarchy itself was questioned, and the public demanded honesty from an institution long seen as untouchable. Diana's sons, William and Harry, were forced to grieve in front of the world. The global outpouring of emotion revealed the monarchy's fragility and the urgent need for change. Her life and untimely death became more than a royal tragedy. They symbolized the cost of tradition, duty, and emotional restraint. Her passing also left behind questions about Charles's future with Camilla and the legacy he would eventually build. After Diana's death, Charles found himself navigating life as a grieving widower and father under relentless public observation. Despite the pressure, his affection for Camilla Parker Bowles never faded. She was not a replacement for Diana, but rather a source of quiet strength who slowly gained acceptance within a royal court still shadowed by the past. Over time, Charles and Camilla carefully revealed their relationship, managing public expectations while pursuing personal happiness. Every public appearance drew attention. Some people judged harshly, while others admired their persistence. In 2005, after years of careful consideration, Charles and Camilla married in a modest ceremony, a stark contrast to the grandeur of his first wedding. For some, it was a triumph of love over adversity. For others, a painful reminder of betrayal. Yet their union marked a personal transformation for Charles, a balance between love and duty. Camilla endured years of scrutiny but eventually earned respect as a loyal partner. Their relationship showed that love can survive judgment, expectation, and loss, a reminder that even royal hearts can heal. The public's reaction to their marriage and the feelings of Diana's sons remained powerful topics of discussion. Then came a moment that shook the monarchy once again. King Charles's confession, "I never truly loved Diana," sent shockwaves across the globe. The world reacted with disbelief as news outlets replayed his words. For many, it reignited anger but also renewed admiration for Diana's grace and sacrifice. Outside Kensington Palace, crowds gathered once more, leaving flowers and candles in her memory. Some commentators praised Charles's honesty as an act of courage, while others condemned it as selfish, reopening old wounds that had never fully healed. Debates quickly followed about the conflict between royal duty and personal emotion. Inside Buckingham Palace, the atmosphere grew tense. The public wondered how William and Harry would react to their father's confession. Reports suggested that William struggled with his growing responsibilities as heir, while Harry wrestled with frustration over his family's public image. Friends of Diana remarked that her warnings about the marriage had proven true. Across Britain, people questioned whether the monarchy could survive in an era demanding authenticity and openness. Outside the palace gates, protesters called for compassion over tradition, with some even urging Charles to step aside for William. Yet others saw an opportunity for the monarchy to evolve, to embrace honesty as a path toward renewal. This revelation exposed the price of royal duty and the power of truth. Once seen as flawless, the monarchy now appeared human, flawed, emotional, and real. Charles's admission forever changed how people viewed the royal family and raised deep questions about its future. After days of silence, Buckingham Palace announced that King Charles would publicly apologize. This time he chose to speak not as a monarch, but as a man. "I owe this nation and my sons an apology," he said. Charles admitted that remaining silent after Diana's death had only deepened the pain. He acknowledged that he had failed as a father and regretted not being there when his sons needed him most. He also honored Diana's legacy, praising her compassion and courage. William responded with quiet grace, accepting the difficult truths, while Harry expressed anger and disappointment. The public reaction was mixed. Some admired the king's vulnerability, while others believed the apology had come too late. Still, the speech marked a defining moment. The monarchy stood at a crossroads, balancing centuries of tradition with the growing demand for transparency. Charles knew his words could not rewrite history, but he hoped they could bring healing and honesty to the crown. As his speech ended and the applause faded, one truth remained. Even kings are human, and even in power, there is room for remorse. What do you think of King Charles's apology? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.